We're going to react to two videos by the YouTuber Courtney Ryan. First up, we got Does She Like You? Or Is She Just Being
Back
Nice?
to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and in this video I'm going to be doing something that I think will be really beneficial for a lot of you guys. So I've already done a video about signs that she likes you and then signs that she doesn't like you, but I get a lot of questions asking me to kind of analyze the situation, and guys asking me, do you think she likes me? And a lot of times the answer is no, but she's kind of giving you signals and signs that she does like you, but in reality she doesn't, and she's just being nice.
So far, I already like the vibe of this woman and the points that she's talking about. Seems like she already has a good perspective. Oftentimes, women give just the worst advice to men about dating. So many examples come to mind of women
So,
telling their male friends that they should text that girl back like the same day after after leaving a date. Like, just they seem to tell men to do stuff that is really like off-putting to women, and I don't know why, but this so far she seems like she's not doing that.
this video, I'm going to be going over the dreaded, does she like me, or is she just being friendly, or is she just being nice? Because I think a lot of you guys deal with this, and this is the reason why I want to make this video in the first place. So some girls are just a little bit more friendly than other girls, and it can come across like she likes you, but in reality she's just being polite or being nice to you because she feels obligated to. So this is all going to depend kind of on the situation that you're in, but in this video I'm going to be giving some examples of each, some ways to tell, some easy ways to decipher if she likes you or if she's just being nice, so you can figure out which scenario is the case.
Alright, before she gets into it, I think the number one sign is the most important way to tell if she likes you is you ask her out. You know, if she isn't going for it, she probably doesn't like you.
So before I even get into the nitty-gritty,
So like, if you're asking yourself, does she like me? You're kind of already not in a good position. You should be finding that out pretty much immediately. And if she doesn't, just move on to the next one. Done.
this video, I want you all to think about your situation and ask yourself the question, is she at work when this is taking place? Because I think this makes a huge difference, and I get a ton of questions from guys asking me about a coworker, or asking me about a barista at a restaurant, or their massage therapist. I literally get so many questions, and a lot of them come from guys that like a girl that is at work, that is working and giving off the signs that she likes them, when in reality it is her job to be nice to you.
Low ES.
Yeah, she's completely right. Already, is absolutely her job to be nice to you.
Get you to spend money. It is her job to be polite. A lot of times I think situations when we feel like someone might like us, the reality is that they're just doing their job. Keep this in mind. It's a part of customer service. If she's an exotic dancer, duh, she's going to be nice to you and give you attention and act like she likes you because she wants you to give her money. It just is what it is. And if you don't want to be in that situation, don't go to a strip club. A lot of times guys mistake girls for liking them and being into them, when in reality they're just doing their job. Now I'm going to be going over some different scenarios and signs to pay attention to that will help you distinguish if she likes you or if she's just being nice. So say maybe this is your friend, or you have her number, or you've met her before, and she replies to your text and she talks to you, but she never reaches out to you or talks to you first. She might be nice and always replies to your text because she feels some sort of obligation to. If you're in the same friend group, or if you work together, or if you know each other from somewhere, she might just feel like she kind of has to reply to you, or maybe she does like talking to you, but she just sees you as a friend. The important distinction to make here is she only replying to you, or does she reach out to you first and initiate conversation with you? A lot of guys message me saying, well, she replies to my text, or when I message her on Instagram, she hearts my message. That means absolutely.
Yeah, she's right. It's absolutely meaningless. Like, we live in a time where you can have conversations like that going on with 100, 200, 300, 400 people at a time, So yeah, it genuinely means nothing. Like,
Absolutely nothing. I hate to say it, I wish it wasn't true, but a lot of times you guys are messaging these like Instagram models that probably get thousands of messages a day, and unless she's actively communicating with you or replying to your stories or following you or messaging you or texting you, she's not into you. So like I said, I would say
yeah, and like if somebody is into you, that's gonna come across in their messaging, right? The wording, um, the topics, like it's there's a level of transparency. Like you're gonna know, and if you're in some kind of gray area, like if you're genuinely unsure, then that means she probably likes you a little bit. But if you're in a position where you're unsure of how much she likes you or whatever, then that means you need to advance things. It's like there's if you're filling up a car with gas, right? All right, maybe there's a little bit of gas in your car, but you need to get that thing on full. And this woman, her feelings towards you as being the gas in this car isn't full, right? It's actually near empty. So you need to uh, do things to like build a rapport and make yourself more attractive. Not just physically, like 90% of it is like, you know, mentally, emotionally, being funny, being charming, being like well respected by others, being like hardworking and determined.
say
These are
98%
things women
of the
like.
time in these scenarios, if she's just texting you back or hearting a message or liking a message that you sent and not actually saying anything, she probably doesn't like you and she's just being nice, which is nice of her to acknowledge you, but I think a lot of guys read into this the wrong way and it's really confusing. So I just want to clear that up. Just because she is hearting your messages on Instagram does not mean that she likes you. She's probably getting thousands of messages a day. If a girl likes you, she will find a reason to
And a super important point that she made, I kind of should have paused, was when she said that. She said a lot of guys out there are messaging these Instagram models. He like, that's not the like partner you should be looking for. Like, absolutely not. It's like, I'm sorry, but you got to be like really good at talking to women to talk to a woman who has, like she said, thousands of people talking to them. Like, you got to be top level. And if you if you're the kind of guy who's questioning how somebody feels about him, if you're not able to just detect and know and like do the right things at all times, then talking to Instagram models, like that's just you're just going outside of your weight class here. You need to approach women that are a lot more um, sort of on your level, like more open to your like advances and friendship and stuff.
talk to you. If she sees something funny, she'll send it to you because it reminded her of you. If you post something on your Instagram story, she'll react to it or respond to it because she wants to talk to you. This is a big thing that I think guys don't realize, and really people in general. I think girls have a hard time with this too. If they want to talk to you, they will find a way. And if they don't, it's just going to be you constantly reaching out and maybe getting something back, but it's going to be really one-sided and it's just going to feel bad. So like I said, pay close attention here to if she is initiating contact with you and reaching out to you first rather than just responding to your texts or Instagram messages. Number 2, we have canceling last minute. So this is a big one that I've touched on before, but I think it's important here to also understand that a lot of girls will talk to you and act into you because they like attention, okay? As humans, I think we naturally like attention. Guys do this too, but it never really goes anywhere. So maybe you've been...
Yeah, it's a key point. Men and women like attention, right? Like, I've seen so many people bash women for wanting attention, like attention from social media, and like everybody likes attention, right? In that aspect. So like I don't see what's so wrong when women do it. And like it's regular a regular thing in this society to have like tons of friends across social media. Like it ain't that big of a deal, yo. It just like never is.
Texting her for a week, and it's time for you guys to hang out, and she cancels last minute. The reason she's doing this is because she's texting you because it's convenient. She's probably bored or she likes the attention. But when it comes to the point of actually hanging out, she bails last minute or flakes or cancels or comes up with some excuse as to why she can't meet up with you. And this could be, like I said, because
Yeah, that means that you're meaningless to her.
She's bored and likes the attention.
Completely meaningless. And that's something you gotta like understand. And it's fine to be in that position, right? It's fine to be meaningless to somebody that you're into. You just have to adjust. You just have to adapt. You can advance forward within that context, but understanding that that's what the context is very important to doing that, right?
It could be because she doesn't know how to let you down easy. She doesn't want to disappoint you. She doesn't want to hurt your feelings and tell you that she doesn't want to actually go out with you. So she'll agree to do it a week in advance, but then when the time actually comes, she thinks to herself, crap, I should not agree to this. I don't even like this guy. And she cancels. So it's just going to be something that happens over and over.
And the way to do that is never to like call somebody out. Be like, hey, you're always flaking and blah, 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 blah. And definitely don't be confrontational or anything. It's more that what you should be doing is playing it off like they're just as meaningless to you, but in a like very polite and like fun way. Like it's all about just having fun, showing that you're a fun person,
a girl just like texting,
and somebody's
wants
gonna
to hang out with
eventually
you,
want to have some of that fun
so
with
she
you.
cancels last minute. I think this is even more of a big deal, especially if it happens more than once. I think after once or twice, you should not even keep pursuing this girl or talking to her because she clearly just wants attention from you, or maybe she doesn't have malicious intentions, and I think a lot of girls don't, but they don't want to hurt your feelings and they don't know how to say no without doing that. I can't say I've ever really ghosted anybody, but I see why people do, and it would just be nicer if they would just come out and say, look, I'm not really that into you, I don't want to hang out, so that you're not sitting there thinking that you guys have plans or thinking that there's something between the two of you, when in reality she just doesn't know how to say no, basically. So I wish more people understood this, and that's why I say this so much on my channel, because I want all of you that are watching to know that it's better to be honest and upfront with your feelings rather than to pretend like you're feeling one way when really you're not. Pay attention to this canceling last minute thing, because I think it's a big one, and I know a lot of girls do this. So if she cancels on you last minute,
I mean, a lot of girls do it, but you can't allow it to happen to you.
Number 3, we have touching. So when we like someone, I think it's natural to want to be closer to them, to touch them. I know in the
If someone
past,
flakes
I've
on
liked
you, you
someone,
flake on
I
them.
would touch
Like
their arm or
you just
touch
simply
their leg
don't
or
make
hold their
plans with them
hand
ever
or
again.
something
It's
like
simple.
that. If she likes you, she'll probably try to touch you in some way or another. So she might put her hand on your arm, or she might put her hand on your hand, or really just initiate any sort of contact with you. Some things I think I wouldn't.
I mean, I've had somebody flake on me like 20 times, right? Straight up like 20 times we made plans to hang out, and then like the day before, the day of, something always comes up, something like that, and it was just somebody I like, just a woman I wanted to hang out with as friends, and maybe we had been like a little flirty in the time of us knowing each other, which we've known each other a long time, and like eventually we did meet up. Like about the 20th time, she finally didn't flake, right? And things went well, so it can happen, but that's kind of a like freak show scenario where it's someone that I've known for a long time, and I genuinely expected that she would just continue to flake, but she's someone that I've known for years and have a lot of respect for, so it's not like I'm just gonna like have this super negative opinion of this person all of a sudden just because they like flaked, right?
Include in this are like,
But that's a unique scenario where I'm not like down bad for the person.
Kind of common. I've given my guy friends hugs before with no intention or feelings towards them at all. So I don't think that one is really included. But initiating more of like an intimate touch with you, I think, is a big sign that she likes you. Body language is a huge thing to pay attention to, especially if you're trying to figure out if a girl likes you or not. And just being honest, I have never initiated contact or touched a guy that I didn't have some sort of interest in. I don't just go around touching everyone. Maybe some girls are more like this, probably not now.
It looks like the rest of the topics of this video are kind of just a little too basic for the stuff that I like to talk about, like a little too obvious. So I'm going to jump right to this next video.
Today we're going to be talking about what she really means. Do not be fooled. I wish that we could all just say what we mean and mean what we say, but sadly that's not the world that we live in. This video is going to help you decipher and understand what women really mean when they say these things, and in most...
I mean, there's nothing wrong with making like a really basic video, and this will definitely help certain people. Again, her channel is Courtney Ryan. I think I've seen like a video from her before. I think she does a lot of videos on this kind of topic. I haven't seen these ones, but she seems to have a level head. It's just, the thing is, what I want to do is kind of dive deep into certain aspects, whereas, you know, there's a million and one channels that touch on the basics. She's quite good at it, better than, you know, almost anyone I've seen, but
really my point of making this video is just
I like to dive a little deeper and get to the real solution.
On someone who clearly doesn't like you, but they're not being clear about it, right? I think a lot of times women will give a little glimmer of hope, we could call it, or they'll kind of let you down easy in a way that doesn't hurt your feelings, when in reality it just actually ends up making things a lot harder because you think that there's hope there. So that's kind of the whole point of this video. Let's get into it. Number one is, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. And this really means...
I'm genuinely curious what she says, because this is so situational.
That she's really just not looking for a relationship with you. And the big takeaway from this one is to not sit around and waste your time waiting for her someday, somewhere, sometime to hopefully be ready for a relationship or looking for a relationship. Because the truth here is that she just doesn't want to do that with you. She does not want to date you. She maybe doesn't see you romantically, or, you know, she just doesn't want to be with you. She doesn't want to date you.
Yeah, and it could mean she just wants to hook up with you. Like, you should also understand that possibility, because sometimes people just genuinely enjoy being single. A lot of people enjoy being single, especially in modern times. Like, people enjoy it. It's fun. It's a solid way to live. And some people just want to hook up. Maybe they just want to hook up with you, and that's fine.
And you know, if a guy came along that she actually did want to be in a relationship with, I guarantee she would not be saying to him, I don't want to be in a relationship right now, or I'm not looking for a relationship right now. She would just date him, right? Because she wants to date him. She wouldn't use that lame excuse. So I think that when a lot of guys hear this, they think, oh, well, she's just not ready right now, so I'll wait around, or I won't date other people in case she changes her mind. But the reality is, if someone looks at you and tells you, I don't want to date you right now, or I'm not ready for a relationship right now.
Yeah, it means bail. It means bail immediately. It means, like, on to the next.
Why are you going to wait around for them to possibly change their mind? Life goes on. You need to move on and keep things rolling.
I know that, like, seems harsh to some people. They get this idea in their head that, oh, this person's like my one true love. And if I just wait around long enough, if they just see how I feel, I'll just earn their love somehow. It's like, no. They'll respect you more, and they might turn around and, like, realize how they feel towards you if you pull away hard, pull away completely. Because, I mean, if they're not ready for a relationship with you and you are ready for a relationship, then
people who are not ready for what we're ready for.
Don't waste each other's
they
time.
Say things like right person, wrong time. No such thing, okay? If they were the right person, it would have been the right time. So, especially when we're talking about the talking stages or date, like you haven't even dated this.
And, like, dating, another thing that I wish I could express to men is that dating isn't that great, right? Like, think about every man you've ever met who's, like, older and married, What does he tell you? He tells you never ever get married. That everything goes downhill once you get married. That you stop, like, having fun times. You stop, you know, all the good stuff ends as soon as you get married. And like dating is kind of the same thing to a lesser extent. Honestly, like it's a ton of effort. It eats away at all your time. Like it's just not that necessary. Like it's not gonna solve all your problems at all. Nowhere close. Like you need to be able to be you, whether you're single or whether you're dating someone. Like there should your entire personality shouldn't be whether you're with somebody or not. Like it shouldn't be this like wholly life consuming thing, right? Because that's not good. Like that's not. You need to be your own independent person, and that once you can actually become that, it will attract others to you.
This person yet, and they're telling you that they're not ready for a relationship right now. And maybe that's true. Maybe she just got out of a long-term relationship and she genuinely is not ready.
And you need to
The last thing you
enjoy
wanna do is
being
sit around
single.
and wait around until she potentially, maybe magically is one day. Okay, life goes on. You must trek onward and not wait around for people who aren't ready for you. Number two, the one that I'm sure all of you have heard at some point, and that is, I've been busy.
Because like once you settle down and you like have kids and stuff, like that becomes your entire life. And yeah, I understand that that's what people want and stuff, but as soon as it happens, you're like, oh snap, all my free time is just gone. It's evaporated. Everything is on a tight schedule now, and all these things that I wanted to do, all of a sudden, they're on hold for potentially 20 years.
This is normally the response you'll hear if you haven't heard from her in days, maybe weeks, maybe months, and she's feeling a little bit bored that day, so she finally decides to text you back. If a girl really genuinely likes you, this simply will not happen. Everyone is practically glued to their phones these days, so if you haven't heard from her in 4 days, she just doesn't like you, buddy. Unless she is on a cruise in the middle of the ocean with no cellular service. I like to follow what is called the 24-hour rule. So if you don't hear from someone in 24, maybe 48 if we're really pushing it, 24 to 48 hours, they are just not into you. And it's also different if they give you a heads up like, hey, I'm going to be really busy for the next few days, or I won't really be on.
Well, I mean, that gets a little complicated, right? Because sometimes people will, like, they'll kind of, it's like this back and forth, this struggle for, like, a power position. Like the early stages of dating can kind of be like that, where it's like, both of the people are trying to be the one who's, like, in control of the situation, so they kind of like initially both back away from each other in certain ways, but not really. So then it's like you play it cool and you don't message a girl for like 3 days, but you're like totally really into her, right? That's a common thing to happen. So this rule is very situational.
My phone just wanted to give you a heads up, but if she didn't even give you that, she's just leaving you on red. She's just ghosting you, and she doesn't like you. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. The specific "I've been busy" just does not exist when a girl likes you. A girl could be modeling every day of the week, backed up, showing after showing. I mean, maybe she has the craziest life in the world, but that guy texts her that she's really into, she's shooting him a text back. So I don't buy the "I'm too busy" thing. I'm a very busy person, and I still make time for the people that are important to me in my life, as do most women who are into someone. Moral of the story here, she's never too busy for you if she genuinely likes you. Just saying. Number three is
Yeah, that's true. If she's like right into you, she's gonna be hitting you back. But I mean, sometimes you gotta operate from a level where this chick is like barely into me at all, and that's where you're going from, right? And you're building from there, and you're building off of that. But that's kind of a whole nother story.
I don't.
When our daughter kid
Like, just because someone doesn't like you to the extreme right away doesn't mean like they're never gonna like you. But yeah, it does mean that you're not to that point yet, but it doesn't mean you can't get to that point. Oh God, friendship.
Our friendship. Which actually means she just doesn't see you romantically at all. She also probably really genuinely doesn't want to hurt your feelings by telling you this, and this is why she says it in this way of, oh, I don't want to ruin our friendship, instead of, I'm not romantically interested in you, or I'm not attracted to you, or I don't see you that way. And maybe she does say those things too. I've had a lot of guys write into me who, have been in situations like that where the girl did say those things, and even then, I
So this is a really important topic, is the friend zone, right? You, you go for it, you get told, I see you as a friend, blah blah blah. That's fine. Again, you're not going to have some weird confrontational reaction. You're going to take that in and you're going to work from there. Now, you have two real options here. Like, two realistic options. One is you can, like, cling on to this friendship and just be, like, permanently friend zoned. Then there's option two, you move on, but you remain friends. And option three, you just move on and you don't remain friends, meaning you're just out. You're just out of the situation entirely. Right? The thing is, you should make that clear. If that's your option, you're choosing, you don't have to be like intense about it or anything, but you just make it clear, like, alright then, I don't really see us like hanging out anymore. And you can kind of explain why, but don't go into like really intense detail. Just like play it really cool, just be like straightforward. And if she does have some kind of feelings for you, she'll probably like think about that and then second guess whether or not she wants to be just friends with you. But don't hope for that outcome. That's probably not going to be the outcome. But the other option, where you just remain friends, but you move on. The like, if you do that, you need to really ask yourself, what am I doing here? What do I want out of this friendship? What are my goals here? Like, all right, I went for the dating thing. It didn't work out. Now we're friends. How do I exist as a friend with this person? Because just being a friend is a whole nother ball game than being a friend where we're into each other and we got this flirty thing going on. Being just friends is totally different, right? Like, say you're just friends with a woman. Well, if I'm just friends with a woman, then that's a whole different dynamic. And within that dynamic, it's a lot more laid back and we have a lot more fun. And times where this has literally happened to me, because we become like, because that kind of like relieves a certain tension, and then everything becomes a lot more fun. And honestly, typically what's happening in my experience, times when I've been like friend zoned, is we kind of continue to build a rapport, and it's kind of like, it almost becomes easier to build that rapport because it's like, nah, I don't even like you anymore, blah blah blah. Well then, like, you kind of reach this, you play this weird game where like you both know that you are kind of into each other, but you ain't gonna date. You both know you ain't gonna date. You don't like each other like that, but you're always gonna. She said it in the other video that people like attention. They do, and they like to be liked. Like, it feels good to have somebody like you, and women feel the same way, right? Like, women love romance and passion, and they like to be liked, right? They like to have people be all about them. Even if they don't want to date that person, it's still going to feel good to have that person have those feelings towards them. But when there's no longer the pressure, when you've already established you aren't going to be dating, those pressures are relieved, and it kind of becomes this more fun, free-flowing thing, which ultimately leads to like hooking up, right? And possibly hooking up multiple times, becoming like a friends with benefits thing. Like, I'm just saying, personally, in my experience, that's happened like a few times, and And that's all I did. I just played it cool. I just was like, all right, well, we can be friends. Like, I've liked a lot of women in my lifetime, and you're just one of them, and let's just remain friends. And we continue to hang out, and usually more in like a group setting or like however it may be, and like some sort of feelings still build, but they're not like I've already kind of cut those ties in my mind, so it's like I no longer see you as like a potential romantic partner in terms of like dating, but I'm still like really into you in certain ways. So like I'd be fine to hook up with you, and it's happened like multiple times. So but then once that happens, then what the result is that it does ruin the friendship, right? So and that's why these women say I don't want to ruin our friendship, is because they kind of know on some level, like, all right, well, I can't date you because that will ruin our friendship. And they also kind of know that like hooking up is going to ruin the friendship, or maybe they don't know that, but hooking up will ruin the friendship, right? Because ultimately, the person doesn't want to date you. But, yeah, you can just take that option, right? Like, that's something that could happen. It's happened to me a few times. I don't see, like, because ultimately it's like, all right, we've established that we're not going to be dating each other, and that we're just going to be friends. So, like, why am I still in this friendship, right? Like, I'm not getting what I want out of this friendship. I'm not getting this relationship that I wanted. You know, at least that way you both get like something out of it. I mean, it sucks to like lose that friendship, but you're gonna lose it regardless anyway. Because what happens once they do start dating somebody or whatever? Like that friendship is like a ticking time bomb anyway, and you, the friendship's basically in some ways over as well anyway. So you may as well have fun.
I think you have to appreciate the honesty. It can be a little bit tricky if, a friend tells you that they like you and you obviously value that friendship and you love this person and care about this person because they're your friend, but you just don't see them as any more than that. And honestly, I'll speak from personal experience. I've had guy friends in the past who, expressed that they were very interested in me or that they were like in love with me, and sadly, I did not feel the same way. And so you don't want to ruin the friendship, but at the same time, when that person expresses interest to that degree or just tells you that they're interested, it can kind of end up changing the dynamic anyway, no matter what. So
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. Like, regardless, the friendship is doomed. Like, you've doomed it by asking the person out, right? Like, it's either it's do or die. You've created this do or die scenario. Um, so, like, what is there left, right? Are you trying to really like hold on to this tiny shreds of friendship left? What is that really worth to like anybody? Honestly.
I mean, it's going to depend on you and your situation and the person that you're interested in, obviously. But this is just a really tricky situation all around. Sadly, after one person expresses interest and the other person doesn't feel the same way, sometimes the friendship just isn't the same because you view them or the friendship that you have a little bit differently.
Oh yeah, of
Also, it can
course,
be
of
really
course, it's
difficult
not
for
the
you
same.
if you really like her to continue being just friends with her. So again, really tricky situation. I know I kind of got off the beaten path a little bit going into detail with this one because she tells you, I don't want to ruin the friendship, or I only see you as a friend, or something along those lines. She's just not into you. Number 4 is you're a great guy, but anything following that but statement is normally not a good sign. And normally,
And you need to really like understand why they're saying you're a great guy. Like, what do they mean by that? And you should probably ask them, because I mean the friendship's doomed anyway. Like, you're probably only going to see this person a couple more times in your life anyway. So just ask them specifically what they mean by you being a great guy, because I've literally heard people say this about a guy who's like a total piece of crap, like loser. Like, oh, you're a great guy, and it's like a guy who's been like involved with some like crimes that are kind of, you know, not your typical crimes, or somebody who just has like nothing going on, like isn't necessarily a great friends to the people around them, just in no way is a great guy. So like I don't like this statement
Really just
that
means,
women make.
but she doesn't like you. It's as simple as that. Whether she says to you, you're a great guy, but I don't want a relationship right now.
That's why like so many of these women who talk about like sort of the like incels and neckbeards and stuff, they talk about how these guys, these like hashtag nice guys or nice guys TM, think that they're really nice guys, but they're really not. Like, I wonder where they even get this impression. I feel like they get that impression from these exact statements from women, where it's like, you're a nice guy, but I don't see you that way. And like, why are you telling guys this? Why are you telling them that they're great guys, that they're nice guys, when they aren't? Like, why? Like, stop doing that. And like, it's on the guys for like believing it and not analyzing it as well. But like, don't tell somebody they're a great person when you have like nothing you can point to.
But I don't see you in a romantic way. Or you're a great guy, but there's no chemistry here. All of those things mean.
I mean, I know they're just saying it to be nice, but that's the problem.
And guys, really, I want to make this clear to you. Do not wait around for her to possibly change her mind. Please, if she says this to you, you're a great guy, but whatever, but literally whatever, is I don't like you. Just take it as that, and it will be so much easier for you to move on from it and let go. Again, I mentioned in the beginning, a lot of times...
Like, I mean, personally, I've never heard this you're a great guy, but, and I've literally been like, I've had like someone say outright, I see you as a friend. And it's funny because, I mean, I've had people like tell me I'm a great guy and stuff, but in other contexts. And like, as somebody where I just genuinely believe and feel, and have been told by many people that I'm a great guy, again, not in this scenario, that this
girls will give this glimmer
just doesn't apply.
Or tell you, oh, you're so great, but I just not right now, or a million excuses, when in reality it would just be so much easier if they would just say to you, I don't like you. That's it. You can be like, okay, I respect that, I appreciate that, and you can walk away with grace and dignity and, you know, do what you gotta do. But when she gives you you're a great guy, you're amazing, you're incredible, you would be, you know, an amazing boyfriend, but I just don't like you, it gets you in this state of mind where you're like...
Like, I imagine how I would respond to that, as I'd be like, well, if I'm such a, like, yeah, I agree that I'm a great guy, like, set me up with your friend, and I'd probably name one of their friends. Because it's like, alright, if this ain't happening, like, set me up with your friend.
But you think I'm amazing, so why don't you want to be with me? But you think I'm this, but I'm so confusing. Okay? Just again, look at it as her saying to you, I don't like you. And it will be easier for you to not wait around. And I really don't say that to be harsh or mean. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I also don't want you to waste your time. And I think sometimes you have to hear it in a very non-sugar-coated way in order to understand. And you'll probably think to yourself, well, she thinks I'm an amazing guy and she thinks I would be a great boyfriend, so maybe she'll change her mind or she'll come to her senses and it'll be like a movie. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And remember something I tell you guys all the time, and that is actions speak louder than words. Watch what she does, not what she says. Okay? My next...
If you're texting a girl you really like, but she's leaving you on red, waiting hours to reply, or ghosting you whenever you ask her out, then listen up and face this f***ing fact. She's always on her phone.
Next one is, I can't this week, I'm really busy. Honestly, this week is just a little thing I threw in there. It could be legitimately anything. I can't this weekend, I'm really busy. Oh, I can't hang out with you this month, I'm too slammed with work. She's not too busy. She just doesn't want to make time for you or hang out with you. Continuously making excuses as to...
Again, that's like basic human interaction. Like, you could literally have family members do that exact thing. They say they're busy, they're not busy. Friends, coworkers, they say they're busy, they're not busy. Like, it's just a general life rule.
That she does not like you, because people make time for the things and the people that they love and that are important to them. If she liked you, she would make the time to hang out with you, I promise. If a girl likes you, she will want to hang out with you She will hang out with you, and she will not consistently make up excuses as to why she cannot see you. Now, I do want to say it's totally different if this just happens once. Say you just met this girl, you're supposed to go out on your first date, and she has to cancel or something like that last minute, but she wants to reschedule with you. This is a totally different situation. I'm not just talking.
Yeah, if somebody genuinely feels bad for like flaking on you, they're going to be rescheduling. Like they're going to be like, all right, I couldn't hang out this time, but we're hanging out this time. It's probably like within 1 week, right?
About a
That's
one-time
what
occurrence.
that's
This
typically
is
what
someone
should
that
be happening.
consistently does this. Like, you were supposed to hang out last week, but she canceled, and then you moved to next Friday, but she came up with an excuse for that too. And really, here I want to emphasize the consistent excuses, or the canceling, or the last-minute flaking, things like that, where you really just have to see it for what it is and understand that if she wanted to hang out with you, she would make the time. And she.
I mean, in the scenario I mentioned earlier, where somebody flaked on me 20 times, and on the 20th time they didn't flake. That's somebody who's genuinely like works multiple jobs and like volunteers a ton of their time and legitimately just didn't have the time. But that is like super uncommon amongst women to have like no free time.
Not consistently be making up those excuses as to why she can't. So again, if this is a recurring thing, she's stringing you along, she's giving you a glimmer of hope or a light at the end of the tunnel that, one day she'll hang out with you, you have to move on. And last on my list, number 6, is that she doesn't say anything at all. This one is pretty dang self-explanatory, but I just want to stress this again. If she is leaving you on red, if she has ghosted you, if you haven't heard from her
How many
in a
views
week
does
and
this
you were
video
supposed to hang
have?
out next week,
Almost a
she
million.
doesn't like you. Sometimes not saying anything at all actually tells you all you need to know. If she liked you, she would be talking to you. If she liked you, she would be hanging out with you. If she liked you, she would not be making up excuses consistently as to why she can't hang out with you, or she's been too busy, or
I mean, I think we got the gist of what she has to say. She did a good job
basically this should
like explaining what each of these things means. I mean, the only thing I wish she would touch on a little bit is that like sometimes women, they don't want to date you, but they want to like hook up with you, and like they're fine with that. That's what's gonna happen, right? And like just there's this weird focus, right? A lot of these people who give advice to men, they kind of miss the point that like being single is awesome. Being single as a man is particularly awesome. Like it's a pretty cool lifestyle, and like there's zero issue with it. And like the main focus should be on, if you see like any of these things, pretty much any of the statements here throughout this video, I'm not looking for a relationship, I've been busy, I don't want to ruin our friendship, I don't like you, I can't, she doesn't say anything. Like, if you're encountering any of these, just bail. Like, you gotta just bail. There's no other option. And that's kind of what she's getting at, right? But I find with people, you need to give them clear direction, and kind of not like dance around it, being like, oh, well, she's not the one for you, you're not gonna date, blah blah blah. It's like, that's a really nice way to put it, but at the same time, sometimes people, particularly men, respond better to like super clear direction. If you encounter like any of this, you're a great guy, but any of this, I see you as a friend, just bail, just get out of there. Like, literally leave. Like, if you're physically at the same place, stand up and walk out. Do not text, do not call, do not meet up with this person again. They're just out. They're just out of your life, because what good is going to come from them being in your life still, and you allowing these feelings to grow that are never going to go anywhere? That's only going to cause you more headache, right? And yeah, there's like a potential scenario where maybe you could like at least have some like bedroom fun at some point, but that's situations where I've encountered that it's usually like not even worth the effort. You know what I mean? Like, if you want that, you're better off just like hanging out with somebody else where, like, you know, it's just going to be easier all around. Um, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. You can be, like, very down bad for somebody. And I'm even saying, yeah, like, you can potentially do that where you continue to be friends with them, like, hook up with them at some point. The friendship's over anyway. So, like, you may as well if that's what you want to do. But, like, don't let it, like maybe hang out with the person for another, like, month, 2 months, 3 months. And if that doesn't happen, then you're bailing, right? Like, if you're only there for that, then you're only there for that, and you need to understand you're only there for that, and not get pulled back into this, like, friend zone misery that you're putting yourself through. If you're in the friend zone, that is the zone you have allowed yourself to be put in, right? Like, you can't sit there and say, act like you're a victim for being put in this zone of the friend zone when you have the option to leave it at any point, right? Like, if I say, you, the viewer watching this right now, I am putting you in the friend zone. You know, we're never gonna date. You and I, you're in the friend zone. Guess what? You don't have to talk to me or interact with me ever again in your life. So, like, you don't have to be my friend. Thus, you would not be in the friend zone. So you can't, like, then claim that, like, I've victimized you by putting you in the zone and keeping you in this friend zone when you can leave at any moment, and you should leave, and it will only do you good to leave. That's the message she's trying to get across. I'm just a little bit more direct about it. Go and subscribe and like this Courtney Ryan's videos. Like I said, I've seen another video of hers before. It was just as good. Very clear and concise. Some good advice. Very nice video. Keep up the good work, Courtney Ryan. Love to see it. And all of you out there, do not let yourself be in the friend zone. Escape, walk away immediately, run away now. Get out of there.